Hi, welcome to my review of Tai Lopez's 67 Steps. This is a review of my reviews. I do this, every 10 steps. If you follow along, you'll know. And so this is the review, as the title says down there, of steps 51 to 60. So this is my last group of 10 review. Interesting. So let's get right down to it. Step 51 was chatting with Wittgenstein's lion. This one was all about the power and effectiveness of language. You have to learn how to express your ideas. You have to learn to persuade in a good way, not in a bad way. You have to be able to get what you're thinking across. And one of the best ways to do this, of course, is to consider the listener. Who are you talking to? Speak in a language they understand in more ways than one, And, you have body language and all these other kinds of things. I'm a big believer in the organization called Toastmasters International. If you go about it the right way, it can really help you in your public speaking. And by public speaking, I mean speaking to anybody. So think about that. So that was step 51. Take advantage and learn about communication. Step number 52 was the Pareto efficiencies and the business triple entente. And that's all about achieving a win-win with your business. And you do that with this level 3 approach to life. Break down businesses into 3 possible levels. 1 is a win-lose, 2 is a kind of a neutral, and 3 is the win-win. And how do you get to a win-win? You give more to your customer. That's one of the best ways to do it. The more you give to your customer, the more value you give to your customer for the dollar that they spend, the more your customer will love you and the more they will spend with you. So that's a win-win. And, you have to think about your actions in the larger picture, because this idea of win-win is not just about business. It's about your body, as all these steps should be. You should be able to apply these in multiple ways. You should be eating food that's good for the planet, ideally. If you're a restaurant, you should be selling food that's good for the people and good for the planet. And so if you assess yourself in those 3 levels, if you find that you're owning or working in a level 1 business that's a win-lose business, eventually it's going to flip around, and you might be winning now, you're going to lose. And Ty's recommendation, which I totally agree with, is think about getting out of that. You got 18 months, get out of it. You shouldn't be in a win-lose business. So step 53, the second rule is never forget the first rule. Warren Buffett, the first rule of business is don't lose money. Sounds simple, not so simple. So focus on the fundamentals, Focus on using the fundamentals to create this value that we talked about. And you once you create the value, you need a vehicle to go out and capture that value. You need those 2 things. Ty's example in this one was about Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, obviously a genius. I'm no Stephen Hawking, and no one else is either. He is genius, astrophysicist at whichever Oxford one he was at, and but he needed to write the book, and History of Time, to get out there and to capture the value of his genius, and at the same time impacted the world in a very positive way. That's a great example of a win-win as well. So that was 53. 54, chess-like assiduity and armchair meditation. I just love this quote. Charlie Munger, his own definition of assiduity, and that is get your ass in the chair and do it. Think many moves ahead. Don't get bogged down in the day-to-day of your business, of your life. These things that you have to deal with right now, they can completely sidetrack you. You can think you're doing the right thing, but you're going off over here. You need to take time. You need to do both, You need to. There was another quote in this one. I think you not only have to work in the business, you have to work on the business, and that is take time every day, ideally, to sit back and think. I like to say meditate on the bigger picture for in your various sectors of life. Health, wealth, love, and fulfillment. Step 55. The 7 habits of highly unsuccessful people in the tardy tree sloth. Starts with another great quote, one of my favorite quotes from Abe Lincoln, that is, I learn from everybody I meet. Usually I learn what not to do. This one is all about seeing the inversion. If you want to know how to be unhealthy, eat fast food or watch Super Size Me if you need more proof. So, therefore, to become more healthy, you do the opposite. You don't eat the fast food. Wealth. To not be successful, according to Charlie Munger, if you have sloth and unreliability, you will not be successful. Therefore, to be successful, be reliable, and don't be lazy. If you want to kill a relationship, don't trust and don't communicate. This is a romantic or a business relationship. So therefore, to have a good relationship, you need to trust and you need to communicate. And happiness. If you want to be unhappy, focus on yourself. Think about me. Short term, maybe, unlikely. Maybe even be happy. Long term, definitely not. So if you want to be unhappy, focus on the other people in your life. Other people could bring you happiness. Step 56. Floating across the Pacific on a raft and why Sitting Bull liked to be shot at. Okay, this one was all about courage. The courage to go against the negative momentum that we see in the Western world right now. People getting more unhealthy. The middle class becoming more and more poor. People becoming completely drawn away from logic and education and instead going towards, television. So have the courage to go against that. I say the courage to go against your peers, and then the courage to find new peers, And base your courage, as I said, on logic. Don't base it on emotion, Don't say, well, I'm going to go against this person because, they're making me angry or whatever. Why is this happening? Don't use... There's a time to apply the courage, and there's a time to say, maybe I'm not quite so right. And this one also ended with a good quote, and that is, millionaires are way to go. Millionaires just had the courage to do what others thought about. I know not everybody wants to be a millionaire, but whatever. Step 57, unstumpability and Sherlock Holmes sleuthing. This is about deepening your knowledge in your area, this Eulerian destiny area. People should be able to ask you any question in your specific field, and you should be able to, you should answer it. You should be unstumpable. You should have a profound, deep knowledge in your area, and hopefully you've chosen your area. Go back way back to the beginning to look at that one. And when you have this kind of profound, deep knowledge, the ability to speak, hopefully in an interesting way, about your chosen field, it shows that you have a curiosity about it. It shows that you have a passion about it, and it shows that you're developing an expertise about it. And that's the kind of person that other people want to invest in, or hire, or however you want to say it. And be curious about everything. That lesson's not in here. Must have been the other ones, but curiosity is such an important trait. Learn how your phone works. You probably use your phone. How many hours a day are you using your phone? Do you know how it works? TV, computer, everything like that. Understand these things that you rely on. Your car. And most of all, act on what you learn. And like I said in that step, when you act on it, you're not just unstumpable, you're unstoppable. Step 58 was death by faint praise and Charlie Munger's grandfather. Charlie Munger's grandfather said that real opportunities come to you that come to you are very few, and most people, they just get a few chances at something big. So when you get the chance, seize it. But you can only seize it if you're prepared. I think this is the one maybe I called the Boy Scout episode. I think it was this one. Understand your mortality. That you're not always going to have a chance to go for opportunities. Maybe between your mid to late teens and your 70s. That's the only time you're really going to have a chance to seize that opportunity. You're mortal. So that was the first half of it. And the second half of this step was about don't be pretty good. Nobody likes pretty good. Nobody recommends pretty good. Be great, And the truth is that all these opportunities that you miss, you didn't miss them because they were a mile away. You missed them because they were inches away, and you weren't the one recommended, and you weren't prepared to grab that opportunity out of the air. That Steve Martin quote that's great, be so good they can't ignore you. So step 59, the diligent celebrity in meeting the king, starts with a quote from the king. Well, I'm going to use the King James Version of the Bible because that one starts with this word, which is seest. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Why you would stand before mean men anyway, I don't get that part, but anyway. Break down your skills. You got hard skills, soft skills, which are tangible and intangible skills. You need both sets of them. You need to have skills. And so write down this list. It should be pretty balanced and it should be pretty deep, But in your area, of course, you need to have a good, strong set of tangible and intangible skills. Nobody who ever achieved greatness didn't have great skill, in my opinion. This one starts about being the diligent celebrity, and it's not about being famous in a global sense, so nothing wrong with that, of course. I'm on YouTube too, And it's about peer respect, In your family, are you known as the funny one or the smart one or whatever? Do you have very high respect from within your family, within your community, within your friends? That's the kind of celebrity we're talking about. And if you think that you're one of these people, I don't need the external, I'm fine with myself, I don't need some kind of external validation, you're wrong. Science says that you're wrong. Our bodies are built to live in a social network, as it were. And step 60, the Dutch big gulp, and that is based on this Dutch saying, too soon old, too late smart. And this one was all about something. It took me a while to figure it out. It was this patient impatience versus impatient patience. And the first letter in both of those, it was PI versus IP. The first letter in both of those is about how you start something, and the second letter is about how you keep on going. So what you want to be is impatient patience. And that is you want to start as fast as possible. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting to learn? Why are you waiting to read? Why are you waiting to grow yourself and your business? Start right now, but be patient in the application. Be patient in the learning. Like I said in the step, I'm learning Japanese. I started as fast as I could. It's taken me bloody forever, to be honest. But, you keep going at it. And some Amish saying perhaps that a fence that goes up fast comes down fast. Expect things to take time and do them well. And start today. So there you go. I rifled through that one because it's, I know these ones are a bit longer. So that's my reviews. Step 51 to 60. I'll put some links down below that go to the individual steps if you want, and the other reviews. And we shall see you. We're in the last stretch here. So we'll see you soon. Thanks.